Good morning, all of you. Namaste, Vidya. Khush raho, Vidya. Today's topic is Plasmodium. Myself, Dr. Arti, Associate Professor, Department of Pathology, Faculty of Homeopathic Sciences, and JYOTI VIDHYAPEETH Women's University. These videos are made by me for my students. Today's topic is very important for exam point of view as well as your practice point of view. So please listen carefully. If you have any query, please mention it in the comment box. I will try to resolve it. So Plasmodium, you all know it is a causative agent of malaria. Before starting with the Plasmodium, I just want to let you know that why malaria is so important and popular worldwide and why it is very life-threatening situation. So just take a review with the malaria. Malaria is one of the most important disease in the world. About 500 million cases and an estimated 700,000 to 2.7 million deaths occur worldwide each year. Malaria was well known to the ancient Greek and Romans, but Romans was thought that disease was caused by the bed air. Now, what are the symptoms of malaria? The severity of an infection may range from asymptomatic to the classical symptoms of malaria like fever, chill, sweating, headache, muscle pain, to the severe complications that can be cerebral malaria, anemia, and kidney failure that can result in death. Factors such as the species of malaria, species of plasmodium, and the victim's genetic background in acquired immunity affects the severity of symptoms. Despite human long history with the malaria, it causes sporozoan parasite called the plasmodium was not discovered until 1889 when Charles Louis, army physician, identified it. For that, he will won the Nobel Prize. In 1897, an equally important discovery, the mode of transmission, was given by the Ronald Ross, and identification of the Anopheles mosquito as the transmitting agent earned him the Nobel Prize. This is a female Anopheles, which is a vector of Plasmodium, which is responsible for it. Now come on the Plasmodium. There are four species of Plasmodium which is well known. One is the Plasmodium falciparum, second is Plasmodium vivax, third is Plasmodium ovale, and fourth one is the Plasmodium malaria. The Plasmodium falciparum causes a severe, often fatal malaria and is responsible for most deaths, with most victims being the children. Both Plasmodium vivax and ovale can go dormant, hiding out in the liver. The parasite can reactivate and cause malaria months or years after the initial infection. The Plasmodium malaria causes a long-lasting infection. If the infection is untreated, it can persist asymptomatically for the lifetime of the host. What is the life cycle of malaria? This is our today's topic. You should understand how the life cycle of malaria goes on, which is very important. Please listen carefully, try to understand it. Plasmodium has two hosts, mosquito and the humans. Sexual reproduction takes place in the mosquito and the parasite is transmitted to the human when the mosquito takes a blood meal. The mosquito injects Plasmodium into a human in the form of sporozoid, means infective form is the sporozoid. Sporozoid first invade the liver cell and asexually reproduce to produce a huge number of merozoites, which is spread to the RBCs where more merozoites are produced through more asexual reproduction. Some parasites transform into sexually reproducing gametocytes, and these, if ingested by a mosquito, continue the cycle. Try to understand with this diagram, it is very helpful for you. See, at the first, mosquito takes a blood meal and inject the sporozoid in the human. These sporozoids via the blood goes into the liver cell. See, in the liver cell, they invade and multiply inside the cell and infect the whole liver cell. and make the shy zone. This shy zone, when ruptures, releases the merozoites. These merozoites, this is called the exoerythrocytic cycle. These merozoites, after rupturing, go in the blood RBCs and affect the erythrocyte, which make the erythrocytic cycle. These erythrocytes in the human affected by the merozoites and make some situation which is called the ring form, loss stage, and the trophozoite phase. These merozoites, after maturing into the trophozoite, make again the shizone and releases the cryptomerozoites. This merozoites again infect the RBC, thus the erythrocytic cycle goes on. But some of the trophozoites go in making the gametocytes. These gametocytes releases in the blood, and these gametocytes mature, and when the mosquito take a second blood meal, these gametocytes transfer into the mosquito, and in the human the whole scenario goes with the asexual cycle. But after taking the blood meal in the mosquito, these gametocytes become mature and make the macrogamete as well as the microgamete. The microgamete will transform into the male gamete and macrogamete will transform into the female gamete. These will convert into ookinete. These ookinete will form the oocyst. This oocyst pierces the mosquito's gut wall and goes into the salivary glands of the mosquito and releases some sporozoites. These are collected in the salivary gland of the mosquito. If this mosquito again bites the human and releases the sporozoite in the human being, thus the cycle goes on again and again. And remember, this life cycle will make you understand the clinical symptoms also. When these sporozoites will rupture, this erythrocytic will take 42 to 48 to 72 hours in different species of the plasmodium. When these sporozoites will released into the blood, there is a fever, high grade fever, chill, rigor and sweat. There is a stage. I will explain it in the next slides, but just remember now, exoerythrocytic schizophrenia. Exoerythrocytic means out of the RBCs, that is in the liver. This is a hepatocytic invasion. This is called asexual replication. This will take around 6 to 15 days and this will releases 100 to 10,000 merozoites. There is no overt pathology, means there is no symptom at all right up to this level. See, in this diagram, there is an invasion of this sporozoid. This sporozoid will multiply inside the liver cell and shift the nucleus of the host cell in the corner, and this will multiply in maximum number, and after multiplying and maturing, these merozoites are released by the shizone. This shizone will rupture and merozoites are released into the blood circulation. And this is a hypnozoid form. From EE form exhibit the delayed replication. These merozoid reproduces month after the initial infection. This occurs only in Plasmodium vivax and Plasmodium ovale. Now come on the erythrocytic stage. After rupturing the merozoid through the cyzone, they goes inside the RBC. There they are intracellular called as an intracellular parasite. So it is again a heme parasite. In my last lecture, I will let you know that Leishmania is also the heme parasite. So it is a intracellular parasite undergo trophic phase. Young trophozoite called the ring form ingest host hemoglobin, cytostone, food vacuole and hemozoin, that is the malarial pigment which they produce, and again releases in the blood and causes the cryptomerozoites. These are again, in fact, the new RBCs, and thus the cycle goes on. But there is an erythrocytic schizophrenia also. There, the nuclear division begins in the cylindrome stage. 10 to 40 nuclei, budding merozoites, they form, and erythrocyte rupture releases the merozoite. Last blood stains result in disease symptom. Now you can see by this diagram, this erythrocytic cycle cytogeny is 48 hours in Plasmodium falciparum, vivax and ovale, but it is 72 hours in Plasmodium malarii. So the cause of fever after the 48 or 72 hours are this. In India, most of the time it is Plasmodium malarii, not vivax and ovale. That's why we always say there is a fever in every third day. So it can be 48 hours after in Plasmodium falciparum, which is very fatal. So what happened in the mosquito? Now we will talk about the sexual cycle. These gametocytes ingested by the mosquito combined in the mosquito's stomach to produce the zygote. These zygote develop into motile elongated ookinets. These ookinetes invade the mosquito's midgut wall, where they ultimately produces sporozoites, which make their way to the salivary glands, where they can be injected into the new human host. See, please focus on this diagram. After ingesting the gametocytes by the mosquito, these gametocytes mature and form the macrogamete and microgamete. This, after the fertilization, this convert into the ookinete. This ookinete will pierce the intestinal wall of the mosquito and convert into oocysts. This oocysts multiply and form by the sporogeny and releases the sporozoites. These sporozoites are collected in the salivary glands of this mosquito, and when this mosquito will take the next blood meal, it is transformed into the human. Thus the sexual cycle goes on, and in the human again there is a hepatic cycle. Merozoites are released, then there is a erythrocytic cycle where again this is going again and again, and some of these merozoites will convert into the gametocytes, and these gametocytes are again taken by the mosquito, and thus the cycle goes on again and again. So gametogenesis is an alternative to asexual reproduction. Gametocytogenesis happens in the human, which is forming the macro and microgamete, but gametogenesis is not happen in the humans. It is gametocytogenesis which happens in the human. So a ring phase from the gametocytes, Plasmodium falciparum will take 10 days, and there is a sexual dimorphism which form the macro and macrogamete. There is no pathology. So I think this is more than enough for today. This video will linger on. In the next slides of malaria and plasmodium, in the next lecture part 2 of plasmodium, we will discuss about the complications and clinical features of the malaria, lab diagnosis and treatment of the malaria. Thank you so much. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will try to resolve it.